Hey, Jujhar, good to see you. Just wanted to ask, you've been in the league for 5 years, 3 years as an everyday player. You got your role on the PK. What are you looking to do this season? What are some of your goals? And I want to ask, too, because there's a lot of good players fighting for playing time this season, especially at forward. In your opinion, does that add like another level of urgency, not only for yourself, but for every forward going into this camp?
Uh, yeah, I mean, after every training camp, I think there's guys looking to take jobs and there's guys looking to keep jobs. And, for myself, I want to continue where I was at the bubble. I thought I played well. And, um, I think if I can play like that on a consistent basis, that's going to be huge for me.
Next question, Quinn Phillips, Global News.
Hi, Jujhar. Just kind of building on what Tom said, the depth is one thing, but now there's going to be a taxi squad, which enables guys to kind of move in and out pretty easily. Does that push you guys even more every night?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, guys want to stay in the lineup consistently, and guys that aren't in the lineup are going to be fighting for jobs. So, I think there's for sure that little bit of pressure, but just even a 56 game schedule, I think that we're going to need extra guys to fill in whenever necessary. So, yeah, I think everybody wants to play, and everybody's going to give their best efforts to get a spot on this team.
Next question, Tony Barrar, Oilers TV. Go ahead, Tony.
Hey, Jujhar, Happy New Year. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Zach Cassian in regards of approaching the 2021 season mentally. Hockey players are creatures of habit. When there's so much uncertainty of when you guys will be playing again, how did you maybe approach the off season and then eventually this training camp, not knowing at all times what exactly was going to happen when?
Yeah, I think it was, one of the things that was huge was just rolling with the punches. I think there was so much up in the air, not just for us, but everybody in the world. And, I think the world's trying to handle it the same way we are. We're trying to be ready for our jobs. And, us as hockey players, all we want to do is compete and play hockey. So, during the off season, I think just kind of stayed in shape, and then when we started hearing that the season was gonna come, it was just kind of stepping it up a notch and mentally getting ready again.
And I know you mentioned on the first question with Tom about your play in the play-in series, and you feeling good about it. How do you carry that momentum over again a very questionable offseason or a very unknown offseason into a training camp like this? How do you carry that over?
Yeah, I think it's just mentally being ready. Just trusting the work I put in during the summer, and now just bringing it into a competitive game. I think we're going to need to be competitive. We're going to have to come out strong right away, and just mentally being ready and ready to for the first puck drop.
Next question, Rob Tychkowski, Post Media.
Hi, Jujhar. You look at the schedule and you see that you're playing every team 9 or 10 times. Theoretically, that means that these games are going to be physical and really intense. What does that mean to a player like you who plays the style that you play?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I think each series in its own, each different team is gonna end up becoming a rivalry, and guys like me, the way I play, I enjoy those. I enjoy when games get hard, get rough, and I think that's how the games are going to be. So just kind of going into the mentality that they're going to be hard games, and almost a war mentality by the end of it.
Just on a different subject now. Last time you guys played, you were in a bubble, which was all very safe and secure. This time, it's not. You're out in the real world. We saw in the NFL that some games were postponed. Some teams went into games with, really shorthanded lineups. Have you guys had a team discussion or went through protocols of what you can do away from the rink to make sure that the Oilers don't run into COVID trouble?
Yeah. We had a Zoom meeting with the team and the medical staff, and they kind of just outlined the do's and don'ts, and just being careful when you're away from the rink. Washing your hands, just staying away from big crowds, and kind of being very, very careful when you're out and about in the city, grocery shopping or whatever it is.
Last question, Mark Specker, Sportsnet.
Jujhar. So in the playoffs, you played very well. Your line was really, really effective, and it was one of the, I mean, there was a ton of bright spots in that series for the Oilers, but certainly your line and your play was one of them. I guess I would ask you two things. What do you think? What was going right for you in the playoffs? What were the things you were doing that made you that player that we all noticed? And is it been too long to carry that forward? Was the break too long, or is it possible to pick up where you left off when it was that long ago?
I think it's definitely possible. I think it's a mental game at that point. I think it's being confident and just trusting the game that I play and coming back to it. I think for me that's going to be what I'm going to have to do in training camp here in the early scrimmages, and getting back to that mentality right away.